I saw a video on YouTube of this guy called Willem. He's a white guy, right? So he was basically explaining how South African labor laws are the reason why employers are hiring outside or are willing to risk hiring illegal immigrants despite potential fines, right? And his argument is that South African immigration laws are oppressive, and even the minimum, what do you call it, the wage, the minimum wage should be a lot lower than it is, right? So essentially, what he's saying is that black South Africans are going to struggle because the minimum wage is too high. They should be paying black. He wasn't outrightly saying it like that, but you can hear from what he's saying is if you want us to stop hiring illegal immigrants and instead hire South Africans, then the South African law needs to change and the minimum wage should be lower, right? He was using Pick and Pay as an example because apparently Pick and Pay is struggling. Um, and they are, I think they are, I haven't researched enough of this particular topic, but from what I gather, Pick and Pay is on the verge of collapsing because apparently their profit margins are too little to cover their workforce, apparently, according to this guy at the very least. So, so effectively, that means that Pick and Pay is not making enough profit for itself and to pay its employees. Essentially, obviously, they are still making profit, but maybe it's not enough. Um, so they have been trying to retrench people. So it seems like unions are basically fighting them from doing that. They've been trying to retrench people unsuccessfully. So this guy's solution is that South Africa needs to relax its labor laws, essentially encouraging the exploitation of, let's be honest, and even he admitted that the employment of immigration of illegal immigrants will affect black people, black South Africans mostly. So what he's saying is that black South Africans, they should be willing to work for less um, in order for employment to the employment issue in South Africa to be resolved. And in my opinion, in my head, I'm like, does this guy hear what he's saying? And to him, he's saying it like the most. It seems like to him, this sounds like a reasonable ask from the government. Or like, no, relax, but again, relax labor laws so that we can we can succeed. At the very least, that's what I understood from what he was saying. And his argument is that over time, that will result in somehow in the economy growing, and it will eventually balance out at some point. I don't know when, but at some point, it'll. And to me, it was one of the craziest things to listen to because the point of capitalism is competition, and if you can't compete, then your business fails. Like that's how it works, right? You have to be able to create a business that's going to be good enough to generate profit and then pay its employees, right? If your business is unable to do that, then it's a problem. Right? Then you should liquidate, right? I think the problem that PKPay has, if that is the case, it might be the CEO. Like, if as a CEO, you need to find different ways to increase the business's profit, and you cannot then default to say, let's retrench. Like that's the laziest decision that you can make to say, okay, let's retrench people so that we can make a little bit more profit. That means your company is dying. If you have to retrench people in order to survive, that is a problem. right? So for me, it made it so like it was so stupid because like then it means every single business that's struggling, South African laws need to be amended in order to accommodate those type of businesses. That's the argument. It doesn't really make sense. Like if you are making profit, and even with the minimum wage in South Africa, it's not necessarily livable, right? It's okay, but it's not that like they're making it seem like the South African minimum wage is like 20,000. It's 5,000. It's 5,000, and for a company that makes. My mom used to work at Pick and Pay. I don't know if I can disclose how much they used to make on a daily basis from one cashier, right? Obviously, that is not it's not the profit, but if you can make such a it's a substantial amount of money. I don't know if I can disclose that, but still, it's a significantly large amount of money, enough to cover an entire branch's salaries for possibly I don't know months from one cashier, right? So obviously it comes down to how much profit they make from that. So the problem, in my opinion, could be that the shareholders are not getting enough money, right? Obviously, the purpose of a business is to gradually or every single year to improve and get more and more profit. So it seems like maybe Pick and Pay is not doing that. So to them, it's failing. I need to do a little bit more research, but to me, it sounded like the most craziest thing. Like the point of a capitalist system is that you create something that is good enough to compete, and you benefit from that through profits. Obviously, you have to pay your employees. You have to comply with labor laws. If you are unable to create a business that is able to do that, then you shouldn't exist. Like your business shouldn't exist. It's like me being a content creator, and I'm like, but the laws should be created for me to get numbers, even if my content is not good. That's not how it works. Why should laws be created or be adjusted in order to accommodate me? Some people are stupid, and they think they're smart. Like if you listen to him, you'll think, okay, this makes sense. But when you look at it realistically, you're like, but we live in a capitalist system. Like if your business is struggling to succeed under capitalism, then maybe go try opening it in a socialist country. What he's basically saying, without saying it outrightly, is that he wants South Africans to be exploited, and labor laws are making it difficult to do that.